G'day pals, welcome back to a new video. Today, I've got an update on the situation with Unity. Of course, I get asked about this all the time, even since I made the last recent video. And Unity has come out with a brand new little update for us. I haven't read all of it yet, so I'm actually going to be kind of reacting to this for the first time with you as I read it. Hopefully, we're going to see some changes in their licensing announcements that are a little less egregious compared to the previous plans. In the last video, I basically said I wasn't too concerned about this because I thought that there might be some walking back to be done, and it looks like that might be the case. So, without further ado, let's check out some of these updates from Unity. So, off the very top, an open letter to our community. Let's have a look here. To our community, I'm Mark Witten, and I lead Unity Create, which includes the Unity engine and editor teams. I want to start with this. I am sorry. Not a bad start. We should have spoken more with you, and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing our new runtime fee policy. That's right. Our goal with this policy is to ensure we can continue to support you today and tomorrow and keep deeply investing in our game engine. Okay, so this is more about business, right? Their own game engine, managing their finances. Continuing to support you is, they can do that by maintaining the engine, which doesn't necessarily involve charging us extra money. Our personal plan will remain free. That's good. No runtime fee for games built on Unity Personal. We'll be increasing the cap from $100,000 to $200,000, and we will remove the requirement to use the Made with Unity splash screen. There is some conversation I've been hearing about the Made with Unity splash screen and how Unity has turned it into a bit of a poison kind of blemish on games that are made with Unity. And I think that stain is too deep set to wash away. We're never going to be in a situation and a time when that is a badge of honor. But it's nice to know now that they've recognized that. So no game with less than 1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the fee. Okay, so you need to make at least $1 million in a 12-month period to be hit with this runtime fee. The runtime fee policy will only apply beginning with the next LTS version of Unity, shipping in 2024 beyond. That's good news too. Okay, so the fact that I'm not using 2024 right now, if I release with the current version of Unity, I expect to not have to be dealing with all this nonsense unless you choose to upgrade them. Now, I understand that console games will probably still need to use the most recent LTS version in order to have access to the dev kit libraries. So maybe that's not as nice as it sounds, but we'll see how things go. We will make sure that you can stay on the terms applicable for the version of Unity editor you are using, as long as you keep using that version. That sounds like an honest commitment, and it sounds like that's how things should be from a legal standpoint. For games that are subject to the runtime fee, we are giving you a choice of either a 2.5 revenue share or the calculated amount based on the number of new people engaging with your game each month. There's some language there that I like, based on the number of new people engaging with your game each month. So obviously they're walking back from installs, and they're walking back from kind of trying to gauge the metrics. Both of these numbers are self-reported from data you've already got available. You will always be billed in the lesser amount. Okay, so I think that this is kind of the most important part here. The first thing you really need to understand is that this number is half of the Unreal revenue share price. So similar terms, similar agreement, but Unity is technically half, 50% cheaper, basically, than Unreal. That's something that I think is in line with the perception of value that Unity brings to the table. I think that they couldn't ask for more. And I think that asking the same, given what's happened, is not great. There was a bit of talk going around that they would be asking for a 4%, so beating Unreal by 1%. But 2.5 is given that I probably won't be able to use the Plus license anymore because it's going away. If I convert to the Unity Personal license, then those licensing fees that I'd be paying until release are now, I can put those towards paying the revenue share fee. So revenue share is not unprecedented. Unreal uses it, and if you don't have a problem with Unreal's system, then this is a more competitive version of that same agreement. In terms of developers, it's not going to spike against one category of developers who are making free-to-play games. It's not going to be more effective or punishing on different kinds of developers like console devs versus mobile. This is pretty flat across the board, and the fact that it's self-reported means that we're not going to hopefully be relying on some weird malware, spyware software that's sitting on the runtime side at the user's end, at the player's end, trying to figure out with dark magic how many times they've installed the game. So installs are bad. Revenue share is even better in that the onus is more on the developer than on Unity to decide how much money they've actually made. We want to continue to build the best engine for creators. We truly love this industry, and you are the reason why. Live fireside chat. Okay, I think we missed that. Where I'll do my best to answer your questions. I find it interesting that this is written by Mark Whitten and not John Riccatello. You can see that the CEO is kind of hidden into the shadows here. Obviously, it's time to sit down and let someone else make the statements. So, all right, what do I think about this on the whole? I think that I am proud of the developer community for stepping up, rallying together, and speaking against what Unity was trying to do here. I think that is fundamentally the only thing that's positive that's come out of this thing. The fact that we as a set of consumers and developers can say, no, we don't like this, we won't agree to it, and we will look elsewhere if we have to. The threat of boycott works, and that gives me hope. I don't believe that this makes Unity look better as a company. It makes them look exactly how I expect them to look as a corporate entity, right? Companies only have one objective. It's to make money. And I don't trust Unity any more than I trust McDonald's or any other company, right? As far as like building trust or losing trust, it's more about, do I trust that I can use the platform, and do I trust that the tools will be around for me to use long term? And that's more of a trust in the environment, right? And so knowing that we as developers have an effect on that environment, that's what builds my trust, not Unity. Right? I don't care about how they make their decisions or why. To that point, I'm satisfied with this. I did call it that they'd walk it back. I do feel like they've walked it back sufficiently to end up with a license that is reasonable. I think they obviously should have started with something like this. They've obviously hurt the trust of the developers who do place that trust in them as a company. If they're profiting, 2.5% of that profit shouldn't be the difference maker. And hopefully this is agreeable to the rest of the community. I want to try to make a nuanced point here about the way we should feel moving forward. I'm personally comfortable as a Unity developer moving forward with the rest of the development of my game, provided things don't change drastically between now and the release of the game. I hope that publishers don't look down on my game for being made in Unity, but I do think it will be pertinent for me moving forward to be exploring other options, other engines. Long term, I don't trust Unity as a platform, and I am less interested in staying and remaining a Unity developer, even despite all of the investment that I've made in the platform. I feel like I'm satisfied with this outcome. I'm not happy, but I'm also not upset either. This is something that is unfortunately more of a obstacle on the road, force of nature type issue for me, and not something that I feel like I can devote any emotional energy to. I'm not particularly political. I do feel a responsibility to keep you as my audience informed on the advice that I give you, right? I use Unity, I have Unity tutorials here, so it's important that I let you know what's going on and how it pertains to the success of my game, which I'm sort of marketing through this channel. But I'm not here sort of, holding up the banner and inciting any kind of rallying cry towards boycotting the company for their transgressions or anything like that. I think that you as a developer should make intelligent choices towards making the art and the products that you're passionate about making. So I want to support you in that. And in that light, for me personally, I am comfortable continuing using Unity on the current basis with my current project, despite the fact that it would be completely infeasible for me to port the game to Godot or any other engine. I want to say I'm really proud of my fellow creators and advocates, developers who have come out and shown support and actual commitment towards building the kind of future that they want out of this whole situation. The support that's come out for Godot in terms of funding from actual developers themselves. I think the Terraria developers decided that they would and announced that they would fund Godot with some extra funding. I've seen developers actually put together sort of conversion kits between Unity and Godot, and I've seen support as well for other frameworks, other engines that are open source and that deserve the support. It's heartening, to know that when we do come together and we do use our voice, that we can actually support and shape the industry and the future of that industry towards open source software and an environment that actually is conducive to more art being made in a more free way that, gives people more opportunities rather than corralling them down towards a monopoly based on dumb licensing situations like this. I should also mention I'm kind of looking into using Godot for game jams, upcoming stuff. Ludum Dare is next week, so I might be entering that in a Godot game. I'm not sure. We'll see how seriously I want to take it. So thank you for watching. Hopefully we can all kind of breathe a sigh of relief while keeping our eyes open for the future. I will go back to developing my game, Insignia, which is doing quite well this week. I've got a lot done, and there's a new devlog coming to you very soon. And that's it. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.